Hi everyone, welcome to Dominus Nisi. This is your host Bismi. I'm so thrilled to introduce one of our favorite topic and a person who is taking that topic into the heart and giving her life to support women. Yes, we are always here in Dominus Nisi to spread love, joy, and peace. So let me introduce Julie to our show. Julie, welcome to Dominus Nisi.
Thank you, Busy. Pleasure to be here.
So let me share with my listeners what is Julie's role and what Julie is doing. Julie is really passionate about supporting women and spreading that love, joy through her day-to-day activities and empowering women. And then comparing to what you're doing, that's what one of the reasons for this show. So can you share with us what is your the project called Under My Umbrella? So what is that?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's underneath my umbrella, and it's a creative space to help women who have a lived experience abuse and just to journey with them with their recovery journey. So having walked a similar pathway, myself and my small team, we like to provide a safe space women can just drop into. There's no booking or registrations required. It's just an open door space where you can just walk in, join
Mhm.
in a creative arts activity, which could be painting or journaling or sometimes dancing and music as well, or even just sit and chat and just yeah, just share a laugh or just share some of the stuff that's happening in their lives, and just so that we can help and resource and connect them further with the things that they need. So just trying to create a space where they can feel valued, they can explore their identity, and they can explore and restore their self-worth as well.
That's great. You mentioned that it's an open forum. Like, where do you usually do that? Is that in community center or is it some specific places?
Yeah, I've got two locations at the moment. So I've got one which is the use of a church hall at Furniture Gully, and then I also use a community space in one of the shopping centres in Montana South.
Okay. So yeah, the other side of the city. We are actually from Melbourne West, but I think it's a good way to find out, like, all people around Victoria is helping different things. So your organization, how do I join? Like, come and be part of your under my umbrella project.
Yeah, either by finding us on, we've got a Facebook group, which is underneath my umbrella.
Yeah.
You can also go to my website, which is www.the10centsproject.com.au. So the 10 with the digits, not
Yeah.
the word spelling. Yeah, and you can find out information about the locations and reach out to me, and I can connect you with the precise locations. We like to maintain it as being a safe space, so we don't like to give out the full information verbally to a wider group. We like to give that one-to-one. So it's definitely through making contact with myself or one of my team. Yeah.
That's a great way, isn't it? Because you need to be careful because we are helping the people who are going through tough time and toxic relationship, and then you don't need to provide the place that they are coming. So it's really good that the location is actually passing to the person who is joining, and only through you. That's a great way of giving that security and safe environment for women. That's great.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what is the inspiration behind the umbrella? How
Yeah,
that started? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's yeah, obviously from lived experience and just my experience inside and outside of a church community. So within the Christian faith and outside of Christian faith as well, different things that I found to be helpful. But yeah, I definitely took through the opportunity to take part in some of the creative activities and found that creativity, whatever it is, whatever that expression is, it just helps us to disconnect from everything that's happening in our head and around us,
Mhm.
and actually step into this zone of actually just creating something that is of beauty, and from that we are actually reflecting
Mhm.
what is actually our heart. Yeah, so it's definitely something that's worth doing, and you don't have to be a professional to create. Yeah.
Yes, I can see that the spirituality is sort of like a your core, and then you connecting to your your inner space through the art, right? So
Yeah,
can
correct.
you share a bit more about how that art can link to that, your freedom or your core or your intense mindset?
Yeah, so we use a number of different sort of themes and topics. So at the moment, we're actually exploring the journey on the river. So to look at what a river means, that deep, refreshing water in our life that flows freely, the places that you may be on a river at any given time. And for some people, that can be a little bit of a tense kind of moment. But when you're actually journeying it through the faith story and your spirituality of just connecting, we connect with creation naturally because of who we are and who we're created to be. So I found that just exploring the creativity and exploring the things in the heart actually helped me to overcome PTSD as well, which can be an offshoot of going through abuse.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely something that's just takes us into a different space where we just are connecting with something inside of us rather than everything else that's happening in the world. Makes us stop, I think, stop and sit and reflect.
Yeah, I think, I can go back to our, like, the kinder age or like the early ages of our childhood because we start with the drawing and their ideas are coming through that way. So it looks like, oh yeah, we are going back to that core area
Yeah.
and connecting. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, because sometimes we
way.
don't have the words, but once we put a pen to paper, or a pencil to a drawing board or a chalk on a footpath, it's something that just connects us into something deeper.
Yeah. And I know that you have done by yourself some of your artworks. Can you share about that one? How did you feel after, putting all your emotions into that artwork?
Yeah, it's been really releasing. I've got a couple of pieces in a art exhibition in Baronia at the moment, and all three of them are just things that I felt like to sit and create, and they reflected the emotion of where I was at and where I wanted to be, and it tied together with some of the promises that we find in Scripture of God's promises. So it's just been freeing, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to sit and do. And I don't say that I'm a professional. I say I'm probably emerging, but um, yeah, just bringing color and life to something that's in your thoughts. Yeah, it is a great experience.
It is because it's always like, if you look at the spiritualities and everyone like, tend to do more of like drawing or putting something on paper that will reflect your connection with your creator and all those, that more of that spirituality level. And I can relate how that will
Yeah.
help. So my other question is about, you mentioned about your 10 cent project. Can you explain what is that?
Yeah, there's a couple of happenings within that. So as part of the fundraising, because the program is voluntarily run and led, and it's also free for women to come through into. So just trying to do a little bit of fundraising through a 10-cent coin. You would often nowadays walk past that and step over it on the street. And sometimes for women, that 10 cent is quite significant in the fact that that's the value that they're feeling when they're in that space of abuse. But the journey is actually that this 10-cent coin is worth a lot. So restoring that value. So collecting 10-cent coins, collecting bottles as well for the NDC project where you can exchange your bottles for 10-cent coins. So that's one part of it. And the other part of it is brings together a group of women who would like to share their story, are ready to share their recovery story through an art project. And that's taking place on the 17th and 18th of July to express the recovery story, go through a workshop to take you through some steps of putting that into paper form, and then sitting with an artist who's going to bring that to life on canvas, which will then go into an exhibition next year.
That's a great opportunity to, I think reconfirm that recovery, right? So you mentioned it's
Yeah,
July 17 and 18, right?
correct. Yes. Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
we register for that opportunity?
Yeah, you can jump onto the website or just send through an email to me or get in contact through you, and I can pass
Mm.
on their details.
Yeah.
I've got a phone number that they can call on and an email to send through some information. And it's free to register, so there's no fee. It's lunch, morning tea and everything is provided, and there's 2 half-day workshops to participate in. And at the end of that space, we'll put everything together and bring it all to life.
I think, I look like it's a wonderful opportunity for everyone who is in that recovery path, and then, articulate that in words, and that will transfer into a picture. And then, look at that's what my story, and then that I can, reflect on and then be peaceful. And I think, it's an amazing way of reconfirming that yes, I was there, but I'm free, and then I have a freedom to, do my life in the way that I want. So I think, my listeners, I will be putting up the details of these 2 days, 2 half days workshop in July. And interestingly, like, in many places, everything is with some cost associated with it, but this is 100% free to come and share your story and then picturize that story. And I encourage, like, I know that our community is filled with different levels of people. Many girls are going through that suffocating walls and don't know how to come out of it. Many of them are going through the path of recovery, and some are out of that path and then helping others. So I think, I encourage everyone who is hearing me and then interested to join, contact me or contact Julie or 10 Cent Project. I will be putting up the details as a description under this video. So I appreciate the way that you are doing different fundraising. I know that 10 Cent is really, really valuable one, because I can see how many people are going through the rubbish bins and grabbing the bottles, because each 10 cents is making some people as their own, daily food, and sometimes that's like an extra perk. Why can't we utilize that to, help our sisters to come out of this toxic relationship? Or sometimes they want to enable themselves to be their own advocate, talk about themselves and get their own freedom. So that's a great project that you're doing, Julie. So, and I know that you have different help from different like-minded people, and then having that great compassion towards this great cause. So I just want to check with you, like, you have done different projects, and you have done your, your artwork in an exhibition. So how do you feel about, like, and if I ask you, like, what did you feel about doing all these things to other girls? What's your takeaway from those things?
It's definitely a passion. It's like I assimilate with the sense of freedom from lifting that veil of silence and wanting to have that voice. So if for me, having learned how to find my voice, to be able to reach back, it's kind of like journeying across the other side to the other side of the battlefield. And once you get there, it's that moment of yes, I've got there, and now I'm the person that actually wants to run back and go back into the trenches and help others who are stuck or lost and needing to find their way, because it's important to have someone to journey with you through these things.
Yeah. And what are the other areas that you connecting with? It's like councils or other entrepreneurs, any other collaborations or anything that you're having at the moment?
Yeah, I've got a collaboration with a lady who's done some art projects before, art exhibitions, particularly around Christian-based art. So her ministry is Voice in the Dark Ministries. She's also an author. And then I've also got some collaboration going on, hopefully with the City of Knox to find locations for exhibitions, and also with the venue itself where the workshops will be taking place, which I'll reveal when people apply.
Okay, that's great. So you have good people that actually, supporting you. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your 10 Cent Project, underneath my umbrella, those projects are really the areas that you're spreading love, joy, and peace to your fellow sisters. So just wondering, any other areas that you're spreading love, joy, and peace in your life? Obviously, you're looking after your kids, but
I'm also a community chaplain, so I'm a chaplain in a number of different areas. So I do volunteer with the Victorian Council of Churches Emergency Ministries, which go out to floods, disasters, any sort of criminal activity sort of places. So when there's grief and loss and trauma, psychological trauma, there's a team across Victoria that go out. So I'm part of a volunteer for that. And I'm also a school chaplain. So I'm stepping into the school space as well to help our kids.
That's both are like, I would say, very sensitive places. At the same time, the compassion is in high need over there. Like, everyone need people like you to show the compassion and share that love with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fully on with the different activities and like many volunteering activities and helping other people. That's great. Um,
Yeah.
uh, um, so looking back into your day one of all your activities and then now, how do you feel about your next steps? I know that you have different projects in place, but again, thinking about your goal for next couple of years, what can be that? Or is there anything that you can share with us? That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully at the moment I'm running my own small business. So underneath my umbrella is part of that. But looking up to building it up into a social enterprise so that we've got fundraising going and some opportunities to be able to financially support other women who are coming out of that situation. That's one of the big tough things that women face in their financial freedom. But yeah, looking to do more art projects and continue to journey with women more and more as we go. So yeah, just bigger picture, it'll be a social enterprise at some point that is just continually sewing back into women and just raising up more opportunities for women to become more aware and for the generations to become more aware as well.
I think it's more of like, educating them, giving that awareness that these are your rights. You are a human, you
Yeah,
have rights. And then being an Australian, you have more, rights, not like from the culture that where you are from. It's like you are an Australian, and then you should be asking these things. I think that's where I learned a lot
yeah,
because
yeah,
coming from an Indian background, it's a totally different mindset and how you treat girls and women, and it's totally different here. But even though we are here, we didn't know that you have this right, you can ask these things or you can stand up for these things because it's culturally we fed with lots of generational belief, and it's so
yes,
hard to unlearn. I think that's what I always say: learning is easy,
yeah,
but learning is really hard. And
yes,
I think over there is your role comes up because you are educating many people. Like, you have a voice, you can be your advocate. So I think that's where your umbrella is helping other people. So you don't need to be in that big rain of abuse,
yeah,
financial storms, and even that self-worthless, like, that we don't feel that we are worth enough to do something. So
yeah,
I'm from thinking about from a toxic relationship, and then come out of that, the walls. I think your umbrella is the best place to come and open up their situations and articulate that and get the different helps for
yeah,
the girls, and then start dreaming again and then do their work. So
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
amazing work that you're doing. And I would like to check with you, the west side of Melbourne, hearing us through this radio show. What will be your advice to the families and the youngsters and the girls listening to our show?
Yeah, look, everyone deserves to be treated with love and respect. It, it's something that we're all inbuilt to be shown and also to demonstrate to others. So I would say just find someone, if you're in that situation, find someone to confide in, to take that first step and just share it. And just if you're the person that's sitting and listening to someone sharing what's happening in their life, just listen and just steer them into the resources that are out there and just walk alongside them for as far as you can until you get to the next step. But yeah, speak up, speak out, lift the veil of silence from domestic violence.
Right. Yes. Thank you. I echo that because That's what we're doing through Dominus Missy. If you are going through any tough relationship or tough times at workplace or in community or in friendship circles, there are people there to help you. So I will encourage everyone, if you are from West End and if you need someone that, are not in our area, I think I recommend Julie because, it will be really good place to open up with full safety, and then no one from this side will know, because I think that's what everyone thinks. If I go to someone, will she talk to my colleague or my friend, my family? So if you are in West, I encourage you to go to Julie because she's at Knox and
Absolutely.
a bit
Yeah.
fun. She can communicate with you over the phone, over the Zoom, or if you want, she can come over to you. So that's
Yes.
a good part for her. So she can come over and participate in different activities that Julie's doing to, stop the unwanted family violence happening in our family and community. So thank you, Julie, for joining and sharing your wonderful projects and your journey to support the women. And it's amazing. And I'm sure that Lord Jesus is like, helping through you because, he needs our hands, our heart and our voice to connect with the people here. And I can see that in you. So may the Lord bless you abundantly, and then let
Thank you.
people get your wonderful service so that they can start again their life, and then craft their life that they want. So thank you so much, Julie.
Thank you, Vizi. Thank you to your listeners. Thanks for having me. Thank you. Bless you too.